Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the best video that you will watch today. Potentially the highlight of humanity itself. Making chicken stock the easy way. And if you want to enjoy watching this video as much as I enjoy making them, because we do this every single day, grab yourself your favorite beverage. I'm going to have a protein shake, and let us celebrate another daily upload on the One Meal channel. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you are a new viewer, I make chicken stock about once a week, and they make it in an incredibly simple fashion. These rotisserie chickens that you can get just about anywhere are excellent for making bone broth chicken stock. They are pre-cooked. The bones themselves are already prepared for being in the pot. I find that pre-cooked meat and bones work better for stock than uncooked meat and bones. And for me, there's a Walmart down here. If you go into the Walmart in the morning, they will have all of their leftover rotisserie chickens that they were unable to sell in the previous day, and they will mark them down like 60%, 70% sometimes, which is perfect because you don't need to, when I have a hot, toasty rotisserie chicken in my car, smelling up the car, I kind of want to eat it as soon as I get home and eat the whole thing. So if you have a cold rotisserie chicken, you can do little meal prep items just like this. Save those bones, don't throw them away. Get as much use out of them as you can. And with just a little simple prep on a weekday or on a weekend, you can have that chicken stock all to yourself, better than anything else that you can get from a store. So let's see what we got here. Some people don't like the skin. I love the skin. I include the skin anytime that I use chicken. But if you don't like it, you can always discard it as well, or just put it in with the rest of the broth, the chicken stock, the bones that you're pulling together. That skin will go great in there. Yeah, a raw chicken is much easier to part out with a knife. A cooked chicken is much easier, let's just say, to rip apart. So I don't ever do anything fancy with this meat. If you have something that requires some good presentation, you don't need to be so aggressive with the chicken. But in my case, the stock is the main priority. The chicken is secondary. Chicken is simply a good source of protein. Yeah, but all of this in total, again, I don't know what your region is like, but the rotisserie chicken typically runs like 10 to 12 bucks where I'm at. And if you get the day-old ones, you can get them for like $3 or $4, which is a really nice deal. Yeah, so the first time I ever did this on camera, I got really picky about making sure to get every last bit of meat and skin piece off to be used again. It doesn't hurt to run your thumb through a couple of spots to see if you can pick off some extras, like this, for example. It's where the wishbone is, and a couple more bits of the chicken breast. We'll make sure to scrape that off. But as for the rest of this, we have a couple of pockets here, like maybe a pocket there with a little bit of meat as well. But I think think I'm just going to put the rest of this here into the broth. It does not hurt to have extra meat in with the broth. And again, since all of this was pre-cooked, it's really easy to just break apart into small chunks. And that's something I would recommend for you to do, is have as few large chunks in here as possible. Because interestingly enough, that the smaller the pieces are, the easier it is to keep them fully submerged. So, yeah. Any fat that you have left over in your bag, just add it. Add it in the pot. Don't allow any plastic into either one. Yeah, I mean, I'll even put, unless you're going to be saving some of that meat that's in there, I put the string along with it. I just don't care. It's got flavor in it. Just trying to extract the flavor. So get the thighs out, extract the thigh meat. Get the drumstick meat here. It should be good. Let's extract this little knuckle. Put the knuckle in there. Here we got this one bone. Let's see what we got. We'll just put the whole leg on that side. Let's grab the other. Boom. We got the thigh meat. Well, first let's extract. It came apart a little funky. A little funky bone over here. I'll just put the whole thing in there. The knuckle of the leg, we'll take that off. Again, the thigh meat, really tender meat. Extract all that. Take the leg bone. Yeah, next we'll do the wings. Wing tips go in there. This piece comes apart. Again, a little knuckle. Stay in there. Separate these two wing bones. Move on to the other one, wing tip. Chicken wing, people love chicken wings. Add this here. Got one more big bone. Add that to this side. Remove the knuckle, add that as well. Actually did a really good job extracting that chicken breast right there. So let's remove the little cutlet. Yeah, that's actually perfect. Run our fingers along this side. Dang, I gotta say, I actually did a really good job extracting these chicken breasts. Break them apart. Let's take a look at my handiwork. Look at that. Yeah, basically just a little bit of meat here on the bottom to pick apart. Other than that, we'll take this meat that's on the other side, along the underside, along with the skin. My hands have completely fallen asleep at this point. So I know where they are, know where my fingers are going, but I can't really feel around the carcass at all to know what part is meat and what part is bone. So, wishbone here. Let's see, it looks like it already broke. We'll see which side gets the the end. Oh, look at that. I would have thought the left side would have been the side that won. Not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Okay, and I'm not going to be too worried about the rest of this. We're going to break off the front piece. Do a couple of tiny pieces here. We're going to break this in half, and then in half again, maybe into thirds. This piece, the ribs, we break that into small pieces, which is really nice. And we have a ton of fat here. Got all of that fat in as well. So I actually have 3 chicken carcasses in there. I ate the other one. Wait for this to heat up to get all the oils off you. Beautiful. All right, so at this point, you really have a lot of freedom to do what you want. You're going to add some water to this, as little or as much as you want. Well, not as little. You need enough to cover everything. But after you have it covered, use your own discretion on what you want to do. So, the less water you use, the thicker your stock is going to be and the richer your stock is going to be. And the more water you use, the thinner it's going to be. And again, it really doesn't matter, because if you want your stock to be richer, you just add more into whatever you're cooking. If you want it to be lighter, you just add more water. So, this looks good to me. But here's where your freedom comes in. Is you can decide whether or not you want to season it now or later. Oh, I did the wrong. So I'm going to put this on a medium-high heat to get it to a boil, and then I will reduce it down to low so it's barely simmering. And I'll always use a lid so that it captures as much as the condensation as possible and you don't lose anything. So, as a general rule, I always season with salt and pepper. If you notice that there's a lot of scum building up on the top of your broth, you're going to want to remove that. And most people that I see won't season their broth until after that scum is removed. So that's why they'll wait till afterwards. Because, your seasonings are so light, they will rise to the top. If you want to avoid that problem, but you still want to add flavor to your broth in the middle of, before you reach the end, trying to think and speak at the same time, you could add things like, thyme leaves, or some thicker herbs and leaves, rather than light seasonings that go up to the top. There's something else that I was going to use, but I can't find it. I have been doing this once a week for the last 2.5 months, almost 3 months now. I just haven't had that scum issue. So I think that comes from raw chicken. I could be wrong, it might just be from anything, but I think the raw chicken, you'll have a lot more of this, unappetizing, unappealing looking stuff that comes to the top of your broth. And again, if that happens, just take a spoon and you know, and remove it as best as you can. You don't have to be overly concerned about how quickly you get to it. Just get to it when you get to it, and it will be done. So, let's see. I'm gonna grab my trusty wooden spoon here. Stir this around. Make sure you get a good peek at what's going on here. I've got the light on for you, everything should be good. And again, I'm just gonna leave this on medium-high heat so that it comes to a boil. And then I will reduce it down so that it goes to a simmer. And we'll let that run for anywhere between 6 to 8 hours. Doesn't really matter how long that you run it for, just run it until there's a good separation of fat and oils. The longer that you run it for, the more fat and oils that you're going to get. So I've seen people run this, you know, for 12 to 16 to 18 to 24 hours, but I don't feel comfortable running this overnight. We'll probably give this 6 hours and call it good. So, and if you want to see that being used in my next meal, tune in tomorrow at 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We upload every single day. I'll be eating some of that broth. You guys will get a good look into what the outcome is. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below or follow us on Instagram or Facebook. I try to respond to as many of your messages as possible and be consistent with my uploads both here on YouTube and on those other platforms. So I appreciate all the time and effort you have put in to making this channel a success, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.